Talking about the double standards of responsibility when it comes to your child's education. Wait, why is this not coming out? I'm trying to get my notepad, y'all. Oh, okay. The double standards that is out there when it comes to your child's education, right? So let's talk about the double standard of responsibility. Who is to blame? When your child doesn't meet educational requirements, right? You are. But the moment you decide that you want to homeschool or you want to educate your child, all of a sudden society says you're disqualified. You're disqualified to homeschool because you haven't been to college, you don't have a degree, parents are not supposed to be educating their children, but at the same time, you are blamed for what your kids do not know or if their educational expectations are not met, right? The double standard at the end of the day, it's a trap. It's a trap. And I need you to stop falling for it. Stop falling for the trap that you're not qualified to educate your children. It's okay to send them to public school, private school, or charter schools. That's fine. But you still need to be an advocate for your child, okay? Still be an advocate. Secondly, who knows best, right? Who knows best when it comes to your child? What's the number of reasons people say you shouldn't homeschool? You're not trained like a teacher, right? But let me ask you this. What's the dropout rate in schools? How many kids graduate without basic reading skills? If the trained system is failing so many kids, what makes you think that they're automatically better for your child than you are? What makes you think that they're better? They're not. You are fully capable and qualified to educate your child. You are fully capable, even if they're in public school, private school, to engage, to work side by side with the teacher, to make sure your kids have learning tools at home. If you wasn't qualified to educate your child, or it didn't matter when it came to you and the education that you had access to when it comes to your child, then why is there such thing as educational neglect? Why is there such thing as educational neglect? Why? Right. Am I on the right page? Oh, yeah, I am. If you wasn't qualified, there would not be a such thing as educational neglect. Hello, everyone coming in. If educational neglect will get your kids removed from your home, right? Then why do people tell you that you're not qualified to educate your child? I'll wait for somebody to respond. Explain to me what makes a parent disqualified. Some of you, if you're writing inappropriate things, they're not going. YouTube will not approve your comments. So if you're writing inappropriate things, they're not going to approve your comments. Just so you know. One of the biggest fears that parents have when it comes to homeschooling their child is that their kid will fall behind. But I really want y'all to think about this. If you think your child will fall behind with you educating them, then why is there so many kids falling behind in the system? Why is so many teachers complaining about kids not knowing how to read, kids not knowing how to write? We don't have time to catch them up. We don't have time to do this. But they look right at you as the parent like, what are you doing at home? What are you teaching your child? How come you're not helping them learn how to write? But yet you let people tell you that you're not qualified to educate your child. I'm still waiting for an answer. Why do you think parents are not qualified to educate their child? You're fully capable. You're 100% qualified to educate your child. Anyone that comes on here and watch this live after I'm done or after it ends and you're watching the replay, I want you to understand this. Do not get tricked out of your spot as a parent. Don't let the system teach your child more than you're educating your child. Your child's belief, habits, and routines should come from you. And the first 5 years of their life, you should be embedding that in your child. Morning routines, how to account for their time. Give them a sound sense of who they are so nobody can tell them who they're going to be or who they are. Your child should know this stuff because it comes from you. Either you're going to give your child a sound sense of who they are or somebody else will. Either you're going to give your child beliefs and routines and habits or somebody else will. This is why you have so many parents that have children in their house that they don't know. Because someone else has given them their belief, their routine, their habits. Because parents have been tricked out of their position when it comes to their children. This is why I believe that homeschooling is parenting. The only difference is some of you might do it full-time and some of you do it part-time. And when I say part-time, some of your children is going to a facility to get their academics part. But everything else still falls on you. Everything else falls on you. Do we have any questions? People ask me, when did I start homeschooling my kids? Very early on. I've been reading, playing music, talking to my children since they had ears in my womb. My kids, those habits that I embedded in them for the first 5 years, have turned into success for me as a parent. They're independent. They think for themselves. They know how to come to me when they're in their feelings. They know how to articulate how they feel. They're not afraid to tell me when I'm wrong. They're not afraid to tell me when they did something wrong because they trust that I will give them the proper advice to help them navigate through that. Show me who your children are and I will understand how your parenting is. What you've taught your children, what environment you've had them around, what type of foods they eat, what type of critical thinking do they have, do they know how to problem solve. If I'm around somebody's child or any adult and they bring their child around, I'm not watching the adult behavior, I'm watching their child. Because watching that child would tell me everything I need to know about that adult. Your kids exposes you. People say, my child changed me. No, your child didn't change you. Your child exposed the weakest part of you that you haven't been working on because you cannot regulate your emotions. You can't think for yourself. This is why people are able to come to you and tell you what you're capable of doing with your child. But yet you want to control every decision your child makes. That's not how the world works. So you are fully capable of educating your child. Stop getting tricked out your spot as a parent. See you later.